Feeling good, feeling happy today. Hey, if you're new to this channel and you want to know everything about eating, sleeping, playing, working of the Minneapolis, St. Paul area, subscribe to this channel because I upload a lot of new videos. And when I mean a lot, we're talking daily videos. I'm a local realtor here in the Minneapolis Twin Cities area. My name is Eric Olson. If you haven't figured that out yet, I'm a local realtor. So to me, it doesn't matter if you're going to move in the next 9 days or the next 90 days. I just speak to people just like you who contact me consistently through email, text, phone call, a pigeon carrier. I mean, I don't care how you communicate with me. Let's just get in touch. Of course, you'll notice right there is my contact info is in my bio. So fill out a form and we'll make a smooth transition. But today, what we're going to be covering is the top Minneapolis, St. Paul suburbs to live in Minneapolis. My last video, I was talking about kind of a hybrid situation. Maybe you don't want to live in the suburbs, but maybe you want to live a little bit closer to the Twin Cities. That might be only 5-10 minutes away. But this one is nothing like that. This is true suburbs, white picket fence. If you need that for your family, this will be perfect because I'm going to cover actually 10 of the top suburbs of Minneapolis. So Minneapolis is one of the famous of the Twin Cities. What I mean by that is you got Minneapolis on the west side, St. Paul over on the east side, and they're neighboring cities to each other. So that's why we call it the Twin Cities. So if you already knew that, leave me a comment below. But Minneapolis is very friendly to residents. And I mean, Minneapolis adds a lot of warmth, especially during our cold winters here. And beyond winter activities, sledding and skiing and ice fishing, I covered another video of 10,000 lakes that we have. Minneapolis is a hot spot for boating, of course, the arts, the theater, the sports, all that kind of stuff. So I do have to give credit where credit is due. That did my homework for me. Is newhomessource.com listed the top 10 cities. But if you don't like reading, this is perfect because I'm going to give my own opinions of the top 10 suburbs. But number 10 on the list of the top 10 suburbs to live is Stillwater. Stillwater is what I considered far east of the Minneapolis Twin Cities area. It's a population of roughly 19,000. The median home value is almost 300,000. I was a little surprised by that. I think it is a little bit higher, but we can dive into the data. Travel time to Minneapolis is roughly about 25 minutes, and the school ranking is an A. So, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, I talk about school rankings all the time, where if it's an A or a B plus, I mean, it really depends on how much effort your child puts into it. I mean, you might have an A plus ranking, but obviously if your child doesn't put any effort into it, doesn't do their homework, do that kind of stuff, it doesn't really matter what the school ranking is. I mean, honestly. So it really comes down to that. But anyway, Stillwater is located along the St. Croix River, just minutes from, of course, the Minneapolis, Minnesota, Wisconsin border. It's a suburb. There are plenty of water-based activities, fishing, boating, rentals, that kind of stuff. So if you're in the mood to get your feet wet, you want to explore the downtown shopping areas of the historical, Stillwater would be a perfect place for you for something like this. So let's go ahead and dive into the map and I'll show you where Stillwater is. Okay, this is where Stillwater is. This is why I say it's, far east of the Twin Cities area. This is Stillwater right here. So, but it's right on the border of Wisconsin and Minnesota. It is a really great place. So let's kind of do a little teleporting Superman. Here we come. Man, wouldn't it be awesome if we could just fly like this? But this is Stillwater. You'll see where the river is, kind of doing a 3D, song and dance here. But you see a lot of greenery, a lot of fun. This area right down here where the Stillwater Riverboat area is, this is the historic Main Street down here. You got a lot of good eats and, got the golf courses over here, the country club, but this is Stillwater. It's a great area. It really is. So that is number 10 on the list. But if you can kind of see here, what we're talking about, it covers a lot of, ground here. So that's Stillwater. And let's do number 9 on the list. And number 9 on the list of the top Minneapolis, Minnesota suburbs to live in is Inner Grove Heights. Do you agree with this one or not? Leave me a comment, especially if you're from Inner Grove Heights. Population of 35,000. Medium home value is roughly 240. Travel time to work is going to be about the same for everything, honestly. It's going to be about 25 minutes. School ranking is number A. And, Inner Grove Heights is a sizable suburb along the Mississippi River. And that area of the river is, full of parks and boutiques and restaurants, not to mention plenty of hiking if you like that kind of thing. So Inner Grove Heights is number 9 on the list. I think you're really going to be surprised of what number 1 is. Do you think you know what number 1 is? Leave a comment below. So we're going to dive into Inner Grove Heights here. Of number 9, I'll show you that. Instead of flipping back and forth, let's just go right into number 8. And then I'll just show you where everything is on the map here. Does that sound fair to you guys? Put yes in the comments. That'll be awesome. Number 8 is Mendota Heights. Mendota Heights is another great suburb. It's located about 12 miles southeast of Minneapolis. It's a small suburb of Mendota Heights, although it is a smaller population compared to some of the others that are on the list. Mendota Heights is currently not lacking in beautiful Minnesota scenery. There's tons by the Mississippi River, hiking numerous parks, and you can visit the country club there. There's always something to do in Mendota Heights. I'll show you tons of pictures about Mendota Heights as well. Population, almost 12,000 people live in Mendota Heights. Medium home value, it's pushing close to 400,000. So there are some really nice homes over there that I'd definitely be willing to, show it to you, tour. So number 7 on the list, can you guess what it is? It's Hopkins. Hopkins is another great suburb of the Minneapolis Twin Cities area. It is approximately 20 minutes west of Minneapolis. So very different from Stillwater, where that was basically 20 minutes east of Minneapolis. Now we're going to go straight across over to the west side, 20 minutes west of Minneapolis. It's great for, transportation wise, because Highway 169 and I-394 go through there. So that's a main artery if you need to get whipping around, if you like to, drive quickly, that's another great place. Majority of the land is already developed in Hopkins, so that is really awesome. If you're looking for a suburb that won't bankrupt you, Hopkins is definitely going to be a contender. So we got, Central Park there. You can grab a drink. They got breweries, got parks, of course, lakes. Population roughly about 19,000. Median home value, it's a little over 200,000. So what's interesting about Hopkins is if you're on a budget, you don't want to be spending a lot, you don't want to pay a lot for your mortgage, consider Hopkins because, school ranking is another A as well. So number 6 of the top Minneapolis suburbs is Shoreview. Shoreview, I would argue, should be higher. Because Shoreview is a beautiful area because they have beautiful lakes over there. They really do. It's about 12 miles northeast of Minneapolis is Shoreview. So it's a suburb. It's full of surrounding lakes, including 3 public beaches. I mean, I love the beaches. You got Turtle Lake over there. That's great. Has so many nature preserves and parks over there. And they have every July, they have a great celebration of, Shoreview days. I mean, right there, I think that should be a little bit higher on the list personally, but population almost 30,000, medium home value, 270,000. That is also 25 minutes from the Twin Cities, just like anything else. School rankings an A+, and the annual number of property crimes, it's not high. It's really not. Number 5 on the list is Plymouth. Plymouth is a little bit south of Maple Grove. I've done a video on Maple Grove, done multiple videos on Maple Grove. Check that out if you want to learn a little bit more about Maple Grove. But Maple Grove is directly west of Minneapolis. Maple Grove is one of the 10 largest cities in the state of Minnesota. It's great for winter sports. You get the French Park. It's actually French Regional Park, where in the winter you can sled, cross-country skiing, snowshoes. Got so many parks. It is part of the Wayzata School District, and Wayzata School District is one of the top school districts because it is an A+. A lot of people want to go to the Wayzata School District. So if you're really concerned about your school districts, you might want to consider checking out, Plymouth, especially for the Wayzata School District. So medium house value, it's going to be up a little bit higher. It's closer to the 350 over there. And population is pushing 80,000. So it's a nice little suburb. Number 4 on the list is Eden Prairie. Not surprised about this one because Eden Prairie is top ranked education over there as well. Population, roughly 65,000. Medium home value is 350, but I would argue about medium home value considering that there are some really nice homes in Eden Prairie, but they do have a lot of like townhomes over there as well. So that kind of, it kind of depends on which way you're going to go for. Single family homes, obviously we're looking in the 500s there. So that medium home value, townhomes, I think is kind of what brings that down. But Eden Prairie is a suburb that offers, oh my God, so much variety of activities ranging from shopping over there, the Edina Prairie Shopping Center, hiking, trails, good drinks, and all that kind of fun stuff if you like doing that, especially as families. Number 3 on the list. I know it's getting long, but we're almost through this. Number 3, tell me if you agree with this one, especially if you're local. Put it in the comments here. Number 3, Chanhassen. Population of 25,000. Medium home value is almost pushing 400. A+, of course, for your school districts. And Chanhassen is a great community, quiet community, open spaces, beautiful scenery. The days can be spent golfing if you like doing that. You could go to the Bluff Creek Golf Course over there for that. And they have, what's really kind of cool is they have weather balloons that kind of launch over there, obviously. So much eating, and it's a great place. It really is. Number 2 on the list, not surprised by this at all, Minnetonka. I mean, I bet you probably knew Minnetonka was coming since I haven't brought it up yet. Minnetonka. It is home of a Lake Minnetonka, where there are some sweet homes over there. Minnetonka is located just south of Plymouth, the other one that was on the list here. And Minnetonka, honestly, is next to Wayzata on there. So Minnetonka is located just south of Plymouth, about 10 miles or so, and it offers tons of outdoor and indoor activities, such as catching, a baseball game if you want to do that. You got the old-fashioned general stores over there. You got Minnetonka Mills. You got so much eating. It's roughly about 55,000 people live in Minnetonka. A medium household income. This one really surprised me. It's saying it's 331,000. I think it's much higher than that personally, because there are some mega houses in Minnetonka. And drum roll for the number one suburb of the Twin Cities. And this one is ranked by newhomesource.com is where I'm getting this from. And I do not argue about it, because it definitely is a top city here. I've done some videos on it. I'm going to give you one guess. What do you think it is? Put it in the comments. I'll give you a hint. If you watched one of my other videos, I talk about 50th and France. Also, this town has the very first shopping mall in the world. In the world, but now I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. The first shopping mall in the United States. Do you know what it is? Hint, Southdale Center is the first shopping mall. It's the city of Edina. Everyone talks about Edina. If you're not from around here, you'll hear Edina. Some people say Edina. I mean, population 52,000. Median home value pushing 500,000. Coming in at number one, of course, is the suburbs of Edina. It's located 11 miles southwest of Minneapolis, and it is incredibly popular for wealth and participation in the local farmers market. And if you just like enjoying high-end shopping, Edina is gonna be the place for you. But now that you know the list, how about I show it to you on the maps so you can kind of get an idea of where all these places are. And I'll do just a really quick recap for you to know exactly it is. If you want me to dive into more in depth of any of these places, because maybe your work is bringing you close to one of these places, fill out the form. Contact info is in the bio. You can text, email, call me, and we'll make this a smooth transition. But let's go ahead and dive into the map. Diving back into the map, we're going to start with Stillwater. Again, I showed you where this is, but I do want to show you some visuals of Stillwater that you can kind of see the funness of Stillwater here. The bluffs, the river. It's a beautiful area. I'll move myself over here. It's historic. Downtown, Nielsen Street. So this kind of gives you an idea of what Stillwater is like. It's a very small town feel to Stillwater. So I definitely wanted to show you that. And then, remember Stillwater is number 10 on the list. Then we got Inner Grove Heights here. And I'll show you where that is according to everything else. So now we're going to move on down. So it's that southeast area. Give you an airplane view, bird's eye view of, Inner Grove Heights here. Lots of parks, lots of action. show you a few images of Inner Grove Heights. It is in Dakota County now. Population of roughly, that 36,000. That was back in the 20 census. People love Inner Grove. Beautiful area. So that was number 9 on the list here. Here's Mendota Heights, number 8. Now we're going to be moving over to another section of the Twin Cities here. Didn't go too far. So right here is the airport. View, bird's eye view of what Mendota Heights is. It's right by the river here. It's this whole section here. Give you some visuals. This is part of Dakota County. It's the first ring suburbs of the Twin Cities here. So this is another great area. Especially if you want to be close to the airport or regional parks or any of this park stuff. I mean, down here, you got all of this park right here. And then, number 7 is Hopkins. And sorry where that is. We're going to be jumping over to the west side here. And show you Hopkins, bird's eye view. I'm gonna pull this back for you so you see exactly where Hopkins is. So give you the landmarks here again. Minneapolis here, the airport, Hopkins. If you're working downtown, Hopkins to Minneapolis is only 8 miles away. So that's a great feeling if you don't want to be commuting too much. Here's that Minnetonka I was telling you about. Then, of course, Lake Minnetonka is right there. Shoreview, we're going to be jumping over to the, northeast area. And this is the one that was really kind of surprised. Was a little bit higher on the list here. So this is, this is a nice area here. So many beautiful parks. Turtle Beach is over there. They have incredible 4th of July, celebrations. Population of 25,000. That's where Shoreview is. And here's Plymouth at number 5. And I'll speak about Wayzata here in a second. But we're going to jump over to the west side of the metro here again. Right there. And show you. From Plymouth to Minneapolis. This is another quick commute. You can literally be downtown Minneapolis here in 15 minutes. So very quick if you need to be commuting fast, but don't want to live all the way downtown, but you still want that white picket fence. You're going to go straight through here like this road right here. Boom, you'll be in Minneapolis. This one right here. Let me do it again. Let me do that sound effect for you. Boom. You're going to be in Minneapolis in 15 minutes. So what's interesting that we talked about Minnetonka here coming up, we got Eden Prairie, but I just want to bring this to your attention here. You got Minnetonka right here. One place that we did not cover, and I'm really surprised it's not on the list here, is Wayzata. Wayzata is very wealthy. You know, you got all of this lakes area here with Minnetonka. We're talking million dollar mansions are in this area here. So maybe that's why it's not on a list, because, you know, top areas for families. Yeah, $10 million homes, maybe not, you know, practical for every single family on there. But Eden Prairie is another one here. We're going to move a little bit south right here. You got a private airport in Eden Prairie. The Eden Prairie covers this whole section here. You know, it's going to be straight next to Minnetonka, but show you some visuals. You know, it's about 12 miles southwest of downtown. 64,000 people. Here's a bird's eye view here. Tons of walking trails. Gorgeous homes over there too. So if you're looking to move to the southwest area of the Twin Cities, Eden Prairie, definitely it's going to be a good area for you. Minnetonka, it's going to be Hopkins, it's going to be as well. And then, you know, number 3 is Chanhassen. Now we're going to be having take a Superman flight here in a second. We're going to be going right there, right next to, you know, Eden Prairie. I think you kind of see a trend here where, you know, this northwest, or, you know, this whole western area here, I've covered this in other videos, but, you know, all this kind of stuff here, it's a little bit newer, a little higher end home values, you know, more in your 450s. But Minnetonka is going to be right there. Well, let me show you Chanhassen. Quick visuals before we move on. Chanhassen is another great area to live. Now, Chanhassen, you know, Prince, you know, from Minnesota, you know, Paisley Park is over there. So that's where he had his studio. So Prince, you know, lived and recorded a lot of his things in Chanhassen, Minnesota here. So now we're going to dive over to, you know, Minnetonka. They have incredible entertainment, bars, foods. So Minnetonka covers this whole section here. You'll notice. They also have tons of walking trails, a lot of historic, you know, places over there. And, you know, the homes over there are definitely they're up there. You know, they're anywhere from the 300,000 to, you know, your multi-million dollar places, especially if you're getting over in this area right here, over Deep Haven and by the lake area. It's definitely going to be more expensive. And then number 1 on the list is Edina. We're going to be going just a little bit east here for Edina. Show you where we're at. We're going to go a little east of Edina here. Not too far from the airport if you need to, you know, jot over there. But here's that Southdale Center right here. I want to bring it to your attention. Right there. There's lots of shopping and stuff around here, but Southdale Center right there is the very first mall in the United States. So that's really kind of cool. I really think about all the different malls there are. That's the first one in the whole United States. So that's really cool. So Southdale has, 50th and France is right here. The shopping area. This is high-end shopping, so anything in this section here, if you like doing high-end shopping, or some people say fancy shopping, that's where you're going to be. Another fun part of Edina is, France here. This is where France is. You got pinstripes. Now, Central Lakes. I want to zoom in here for you guys. This is where they have like mini golfing. Like this whole section you see right here, that's all the greenery. This is mini golf. This is the greatest mini golf course I've ever played. So if you like that kind of stuff, and if you really zoom in right here, you'll notice there's a walking path that goes around this, and people that work in the area do this walking path through here all the way through. But this little part here is where you can rent paddle boats, and you can do that kind of stuff. So amphitheater, they play a lot of music there. So that is the top 10 suburbs in the Twin Cities area. If you're considering, or a job is going to place you in Minnesota and you need help with a smooth transition to the Minneapolis area, my contact info is below. Just contact info in the bio. Email me, text me, fill out a form, and we'll connect, and I'll help you make a smooth transition to Minnesota. Eric Olson, local realtor.